Earth had always felt permanent. Mountains stood unmoved for millions of years, oceans followed the same tides, and the sun rose each morning with reassuring certainty. That belief shattered the day scientists confirmed the truth humanity had feared but never truly accepted. The sun was dying. Not slowly, not peacefully, but violently. Its core was destabilizing, and within a century it would expand into a red giant, swallowing Mercury, Venus, and finally Earth itself. At first, governments denied it. Then they argued. Then they panicked. When denial failed, the world's nations gathered and made the most desperate decision in human history. Earth would not be abandoned. It would be moved. The plan was called the Wandering Earth Project. Instead of fleeing into space, humanity would transform the entire planet into a spacecraft. Tens of thousands of enormous Earth engines would be built across the surface, each capable of producing unimaginable thrust. Their purpose was simple and insane at the same time. Push Earth out of the solar system and send it drifting toward a new star system where life might survive. The cost was beyond measure. Cities were dismantled, continents reshaped, oceans frozen, and the sky itself altered. To survive the centuries-long journey, humans retreated underground into vast subterranean cities. The surface became a frozen wasteland, locked under perpetual winter once Earth's rotation was stopped to align the engines. Lu Qi was born long after the engines ignited. He had never seen a blue sky or felt sunlight on his skin. His world was steel corridors, artificial lights, and warning sirens that never truly stopped. As a child, he had dreamed of the surface, even though everyone knew it was forbidden. The ground above was deadly, colder than any natural winter, swept by storms of ice and debris. Lu Qi lived with his grandfather, Han Xiang, a gruff man who masked his fear with sarcasm and stubbornness. Lu Qi's father, Lu Peiqiang, was not. Earth's fall toward Jupiter was no longer a distant threat. It was happening in real time, visible even to those who had never seen the sky before. Jupiter dominated the heavens, its massive bands of swirling gas stretching endlessly, its gravity pulling at Earth like an unseen chain tightening with every passing hour. Command centers across the planet worked without rest. Scientists recalculated trajectories, engineers argued over impossible solutions, and military leaders prepared for sacrifices they never imagined making. The Wandering Earth Project had always assumed losses, but not extinction. On the frozen surface, Lu Qi's convoy struggled forward toward a disabled Earth engine near the equatorial zone. Their transport vehicle creaked under the stress of the cold, metal groaning as if it were alive. Every kilometer was a battle against ice storms that could strip flesh from bone in seconds. When one of the vehicles slipped into a crevasse, there was no time to mourn. The mission came first, because failure meant the end of everyone. Han Xiang tried to keep morale alive with his rough humor, though Lu Qi could hear the fear beneath it. Han Duo stayed close, her small voice cutting through the tension with questions that no one could fully answer. She believed, without understanding why, that Lu Qi's father would somehow fix everything. Deep beneath the surface, the underground cities entered a state of controlled chaos. Families were herded into reinforced shelters, emergency power systems were activated, and farewell messages flooded the communication networks. Many people chose to record their final thoughts, knowing their voices might outlive their bodies. As Earth crossed Jupiter's Roche limit, gravity began to tear at the planet itself. Tectonic plates shifted violently. Earthquakes rippled through the crust, collapsing tunnels and shaking underground cities to their foundations. The artificial gravity systems flickered, reminding everyone that their Earth was now so close to Jupiter that the gas giant filled the sky like a living wall of fire and storms. Its immense gravity warped light itself, bending the stars into faint, distorted arcs. The planet groaned under the strain. Mountains cracked, ice sheets shattered, and the engines that still burned did so against a force that felt endless. On the surface, Lu Qi's team received the final transmission from command. The atmospheric ignition plan was approved. There would be no retreat and no second attempt. Every remaining Earth engine was ordered to redirect its power upward, focusing not on propulsion but on creating a stable ignition corridor through the upper atmosphere. The idea was terrifyingly simple. Superheat Earth's hydrogen-rich atmosphere, channel it toward Jupiter, and ignite it using an external trigger. The explosion would act like a cosmic push, shoving Earth away from Jupiter's gravity well. But the cost was clear. Anyone on the surface during ignition would not survive. Lu Qi stared at the message in silence. Han Duo clutched his arm, sensing something was wrong. Han Xiang understood immediately. He laughed bitterly and muttered that the universe had a cruel sense of humor. After building engines to save the world, they would end it by setting the sky on fire. Evacuation orders followed. All surface personnel were instructed to return underground as quickly as possible. Time, however, was running out. Vehicles failed, routes collapsed, and storms intensified. Many teams realized they would never make it back. Han Xiang made a decision without hesitation. He forced Lu Qi and Han Duo into a transport vehicle and sealed the door. Lu Qi protested, shouting, pounding on the glass, but Han Xiang only smiled and waved him off. Someone had to manually align the ignition relays on their engine cluster, and the system was already failing. The vehicle disappeared into the storm, carrying Lu Qi and Han Duo back toward the underground city. The silence after the explosion felt unreal. For hours, no one dared to speak. Scientists watched their monitors as if the numbers might change back if they blinked. But they did not. Earth's trajectory was stable. The planet was no longer falling toward Jupiter. Against every prediction, humanity had survived. Underground cities slowly emerged from emergency lockdown. Light steadied, gravity normalized, and communication networks reconnected. Across the world, people embraced strangers, cried openly, and mourned those who would never return. Survival came with a cost that could not be measured. Lu Qi and Han Duo sat together in a crowded shelter, listening as officials confirmed the truth. The atmospheric ignition had worked. Earth was now on a new path, continuing its long journey out of the solar system. When Lu Qi heard that Navigator 1 had been lost, he understood immediately what that meant. There was no body to bury, no grave to visit, only absence. For the first time in his life, Lu Qi did not feel anger toward his father. He felt understanding. Memorials were held across the underground world. Names of the fallen scrolled endlessly across giant screens. Engineers, soldiers, civilians, and astronauts. Among them was Lu Peiqiang. Among them was Han Xiang. Their sacrifices became part of Earth's story, woven into the very movement of the planet. Days turned into weeks as systems were repaired and cities rebuilt. The surface remained uninhabitable, but the engines that survived were reinforced and realigned. Humanity accepted that the journey ahead would take generations. No one alive would see the destination. That knowledge, strangely, brought peace. Lu Qi volunteered to join the next generation of engine maintenance crews. He no longer wanted to run from responsibility. He wanted to protect what had been saved. Han Duo stayed close, still curious, still hopeful, her belief in tomorrow unshaken. High above Earth, fragments of Navigator 1 drifted s.